So hello, thank you for answering some of our fun questions. Your very first question, really important. What is your favorite sandwich?
Ooh, my favorite sandwich. That's such a good question. I'm gonna go with BLT because, bacon makes everything better. Lightly toasted bread, whole wheat. I like it done just the way I like it. So I'm gonna go with BLT. PBJ is a close second. I'm a kind of a classics guy, but let's say bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
Solid choice. All right. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, that changed a lot as that did for most people. I did go through my doctor phase. So I thought that I wanted to be a doctor until I realized that I hate the sight of other people's blood. So I, as a boy, played sports, I don't mind bleeding the sight of my own blood, but when I see someone else's blood, that changed really quickly. And here I am, a dean.
That's fair. What's one source of information that you check every day?
Instagram. I almost hate to say that because I guess that's a loose interpretation that it is a source of information. But over the years, I have followed a lot of our students as they become our alumni and have gone on into their lives. And I find it quite a nice way to kind of take stock of what people are doing and, the families and all of that. So I have to admit that in addition to the other sources of news, that I read, Instagram, I check every day.
It's an honest answer, so I think that's good. This is what our listeners are looking for.
Okay. They don't want to hear the Wall Street Journal. I do read that portion of that every day, but IG is more fun, a lot more fun these days.
That's fair. All right, this is my favorite question. I already know your answer, and it is the incorrect one, but cats or dogs?
Neither. Is that a choice?
I guess that's the worst answer, but yes, that's an option.
Dogs for sure. 100% dogs. Mm-hmm. Only dogs and never cats is my answer to that. There's so many reasons why that is the right answer. Not only my answer, but it's a fact. I mean, it's not even something that we can argue about. Dogs, 100%. And I've had lots of them. Very cool names in my dog lineage: Bartholomew's and Mickey's and Lola's. Unfortunately, we are between dogs right now as a family, but the next pet will be another dog.
We accept you for who you are. Okay, next question, which is actually a statement. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Wow. Let's see. Dad, husband, and sports fan. It's a hyphenated one. That's okay. what I would go with.
Nice.
I'm gonna after when this is over, I'll ask you to describe me in 3 words, and we'll see.
Maybe slightly different. No, just kidding. Maybe. All right. What's your favorite thing to do in Atlanta?
My favorite thing to do in Atlanta is to sit out on the Beltline at Rathbun Steak. There's a patio out there where some friends of mine, we have a small group of friends, and every week we get together and we have cigars and adult beverages close to the Beltline. And it is a great way to catch up, a great way to, shed the stress of the day or the week and stay connected to friends that you might otherwise, with busy lives and families and everything, go separate ways. It's something that we're really intentional about. It's one of my very favorite things to do.
Nice. All right. What's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
So it's kind of the classic parental advice is choose your friends wisely. And find myself giving that advice to my kids now that they're approaching middle school. And I find myself giving it because it really was the best advice I ever got. Some of my closest friends now are the friends I chose or who chose me when we were much younger. And they were friends with the idea of shared values is really important. So friends that believe in what you believe in about, good and bad, about school and, work and those kinds of things helped me a lot in life, stay on the right track. And I credit my friends or my friend group for that. And so that's why I find myself giving my kids that same advice.
Nice one. And your very last question, if you could have a superpower, what would you choose?
Mind reading. So this is something that you see, I didn't have to think about that at all. Like I'd like to think that I have it a little bit. And I do try to convince my children that I have it a little bit. But if I could have a superpower, that would be it. I would love to know what people are thinking when they're not saying anything. And probably because it's one of my biggest fears is that someone can know what I'm thinking and not saying it. I work hard on my faces so people can't like read my mind. But if I could read others, I think that would be the coolest thing.
So just you can read theirs, but they can't read yours. Just
of course. Oh, it only works one way. You know, Superman be Superman if everyone could fly. No. So yes, that's
fair. All right, folks. Now you know Brian Mitchell a little bit better.